My name is Cate Hunter, and this is my binder that I created this summer as a resource for families and teachers. It's titled Specific Learning Disabilities, Characteristics, Teaching Strategies, and Resources for Families. I'm going to talk through many of the pages, but some of them I will just show you on here. So this is how my binder starts out. I made sure I had an introduction and a description of this binder and how it is to be used. And I also wanted to make sure that if a teacher borrows this from me, I work at a charter school, so I work with general ed teachers as well, that they do know my email address and where to find me if they need any extra help. So topics I will include in this binder are, again, specific learning disabilities, which are dyscalculia, dysgraphia, and dyslexia. The first topic is dyslexia. So I set up the first page of each of the specific learning disabilities in this same setup. I wanted to make it look as professional as possible since I will be sharing this with other educators as well as parents. I'm not going to read through all of the common identifying factors in there, but I will touch upon some of my favorite parent resources, which I think I might be using this mostly to work with parents. So I wanted to make sure I was very familiar with the parent resources that I had here. One of my favorites was this YouTube film titled Embracing Dyslexia. I really liked it because it had a combination of parents, teachers, experts, and students to talk about dyslexia. They were very honest in discussing their struggles and how hard it was to learn with dyslexia, and some of the ideas that they had on how students can work best at school. I also really liked, one more thing about this video is that I found with a lot of the videos that I found on learning disabilities, the comment section below the videos were very positive, and it seemed like it might be a good place for parents to connect with other people on the subject. And I also liked this one right here, Dyslexia Help, because I had so many different iPhone and iPad apps for kids with dyslexia. So the next two pages are more for teachers. So this is best practices for teachers. So a list of appropriate accommodations for IEPs and to make sure that those accommodations are upheld in the general ed setting as well as supportive curriculum for intervention or IEP services or even in the classroom. I was certified in visualizing and verbalizing as well as LIPS, and also the Seeing Stars program is a research-based practice that has shown significant improvements with students diagnosed with dyslexia. And I listed myself and another coworker of mine, Katie Ruffman, who is also certified or went through the training for Seeing Stars, so that teachers who are interested in those topics can contact the right people. The next pages I have are more fact sheets to show the research that was done, I believe it was in 2013, yes, on a group of 172 students with dyslexia. It shows their improvements. This is kind of a way to show, if you are doing this at school, that we're not just choosing random programs, that we choose research-based practices that are proven to work. I actually showed this to one of my students. He really thought the brain activity part of this was really interesting. It's a research article on the Lindemood-Bell processes that show that gray matter volume changes following their specific reading intervention with kids with dyslexia. This is a larger pamphlet that I put in the sheet protector, so you can't see all the pages right now, but it's all in there. And this is from Lindemood-Bell when I went to their workshop. This is an activity I found that helps with sequencing and visual discrimination and tracking abilities, which is important for students with dyslexia. This is for tracking. The next topic is dyscalculia. So again, same layout as before. Common identifying factors, parent resources. Sorry, let me look at my parent resources. Oh, this was great, actually. This one was great. It's a math game that's specific for dyscalculia, and it was pretty cool. And there was even their research that was done with their neuroimaging unit that showed the progress. And this woman as well, Ronit Bird, she made a great video, A Parent's Guide to Dyscalculia. And then doing some further research, I saw she has her very own website, and she created games, and she even offers courses. So then these are the best practices for teachers. So accommodations. And I put my resources at the bottom. So it would be a combination of the websites you see and real accommodations that I have actually written into IEPs. So these are manipulatives and an example of a mnemonic device. And then these are two supportive curriculums that work really well for students with dyscalculia. Making Math Real is one that I found out from a previous principal that I worked with. She had gone to the classes. They're pretty intensive courses. She did say that the specific teacher she had was pretty dry, but that the material is amazing. And she gave me her notes on 9 lines, which is a big thing with Making Math Real. It's a way to memorize multiplication problems. I couldn't get too much from her notes, but I do plan on putting that on my professional development plan for this coming year, which we're starting to create at school since I go back to school on Monday. And then Dynamo Math. It is a British company, but still math is math, right? What's great about this is a whole online program with 3 different stages. It has over 250 lessons in it, and it's all accessible online. I think I forgot to mention something that I really liked. This one. So I put this one in here because a big thing with students with math difficulties and math learning disabilities is to use manipulatives. Manipulatives can be expensive, although you can get creative and use Serial or whatnot. This is an online library of math manipulatives. So pretty much any math manipulative that a teacher would use at school, there's an online version of it here. And with kids nowadays that are online and on iPads more than ever before, I thought that that was a very appropriate resource to give to a family. And I just realized that I should put family resources here instead of parent. I realize that that is sensitive and that they could be living with a grandparent or a foster parent or a sibling or something like that. So I am definitely going to change that before I bring this into school on Monday. Please excuse my oversight. So sorry again, this is those 2 pages. So this is Ronit Bird, who I actually found to be pretty incredible with all the tips that she had on her website, all the videos that she had posted. These are excellent resources for teachers as well as parents. It does say parents, but I actually found these to be really good tips for teachers as well. Games. I'm already at 10 minutes on my video. I realize I might be talking too much. So I'm going to scan a bit. Dysgraphia. Set up the same. Handwriting Without Tears is one of my favorite parts in this book, actually. My friend Annie went through the workshops for it, so she was able to show me a lot of what she learned, and I'm going to be taking that with me. So instead of attending the actual workshop, I met with a peer to learn more about Handwriting Without Tears. And then these are more accommodations. This year I made sure that we had Alpha Smarts at my school because we didn't have them in the past. So this summer I placed an order for them to make sure my students would have access. And this is an entire research article on Handwriting Without Tears that could be used to show a principal if you want to purchase the program, or go to workshops to kind of show why we believe in it so much, to show to parents. It might be a little intensive for parents. And then these are a bunch of different assistive technologies for writing. Note-taking software is huge. Note-taking is big this year. Even starting in 3rd grade, my students will be taking notes. I'm going to flip through the rest of this rather quickly, I believe. So those were the 3 specific learning disabilities, and everything else in here. So it's starting to talk about, I ordered it, so it's starting to talk about learning disabilities. All disabilities under IDEA. So this is from the IDEA website. And then next I put in what is a specific learning disability. So this is a PowerPoint. I put it right in here that is saved on my computer that I can show to parents or anybody that needs to know. And then once the parent realizes or is told that they have a learning disability, this is a sample of a letter to make sure they get those results. Again, another article on learning disabilities in particular. These are signs for students, and specifically students with learning disabilities, what to do when you're frustrated. You can talk with your teacher. You can ask a friend for help. And take a deep breath. One of the last things in here is this disability awareness booklet that students can fill out either alone or as a group, to be read aloud, obviously, because the text can be a little difficult for younger students. So I put this in here as kind of an extra, just for disability awareness. And in addition to that, there is this worksheet on how you can be a friend, supportive. And although auditory processing disorder and things like autism are not considered learning disabilities, I do have these places in here so that throughout the year I can still build upon this and add more resources and just put a disclaimer, you know, that these are not specific learning disabilities, but these are other things that can be associated with learning disabilities. So that is my resource finder that I did. I really love it. I'm really proud of it. I feel like there's a lot of good information here. I feel like I learned a lot about what is a specific learning disability and what is not. I actually thought there were a lot more specific learning disabilities than there are. That, you know, ADHD is not considered a specific learning disability, that auditory processing is not considered a specific learning disability. So I really learned a lot, and I'm proud of this, and I plan on having it being an evolving resource that I can keep adding to and keep learning from. So I'm very happy. And I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed learning about my independent study. Thanks very much.